So I'm making this video for Nissan Maxima, Altimas, Muranos, Pathfinders, anything Nissan. Nissan America is probably one of the worst companies to go with. That's just my opinion. I had a 2000 Nissan that one of the cylinders weren't firing, and nobody could tell me why this one cylinder wasn't firing. The car was absolutely in good shape other than that. It was running, and whenever I would hit the gas, it was like sputtering real bad, real bad. But prior to, I was on my way back from my best friend's wedding, and I smelled like something burning. So I stopped and I looked, and I seen where one of the wires coming off of the coil was melted. So I guess it was arcing or whatever, and it sent a short somewhere. But even after that, I sent it to many different shops to have them trace this electrical problem down, because I'm sure that's what it was. I bought an ECU. Nobody could tell me nothing. So what ended up happening was the car sat for months, and then I end up junking the car. Basically just getting it out of here. Fast forward January 2017, I end up buying a new Nissan Sentra. I love Sentras based on the one I had. And I said, okay, this seems like it was a solid car for a while, and I felt like, you know, I can do another one. Drove this car a whole year. Fast forward February 2018. This car has 66,789,000 miles on it. 789,000 miles. And the transmission just stopped. I was coming to a stop at a light, and the transmission just, boom, stopped. I shut the car off. I turned it back on. The car turns on and off perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting in it right now, and it's running. It just won't go anywhere, okay? This is a known problem with all of these cars with these CVT transmissions, and it seems like it's going to get worse because everybody is moving towards the CVT route. When you know that you have an issue, or should I say a quality control issue, where everyone's having the same complaint and they're reporting it and they're getting it done at a higher rate than what they usually go, then you got to admit somewhere down the line that you have a problem in your manufacturing. And for them not to admit that they have a problem is just, it's beyond me. What they did do was extend the warranty from 5,000, how can I say, what was it? From 5 years and 60,000 miles to 10 years and 120,000 miles. I mean, that's cool. But mind you, only certain year cars fit into that space. So this being a 2013, I'm out, because it's from 2010 and down. I'm out. So whatever I do, I got to come out of pocket for. Mind you, I called these people this morning, and they told me, I called a few places. I just wanted to get a ballpark. And this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that everybody should agree with this, but this is just my opinion. I called a few places. One place quoted me $3,600 out the door. Another place quoted me $3,750 out the door. Then I called Nissan, and they quoted me in between, I want to say, what was it? $3,000 and $4,000. Now, and then they say depending on what's the problem. Okay. I'm driving the car. The car stops. I tell them that I call all of these people I called. I tell them that I want to get my CVT replaced. I went and I checked the car out you know, myself, from what I can see and what I do know about the car or cars, the axle spleens were fine. The axles themselves seem to be in good condition. I popped them out, put them back in. Perfectly fine. Okay? So what that telling me is that it has to be an internal transmission issue, because if it were any one of the axles or the spleens, you would see any broke spleens and any gear shavings or anything right there on each axle. So I ruled that out from the beginning, so I knew exactly what I wanted to do. They tell me, oh, we just want to get it in, we want to diagnose it. Diagnosing is $150 to $200 for anybody that doesn't know. I mean, that's cool. But now everybody wants to do a diagnosis. They don't never go off of just what you say alone. If you want something done, I believe you as the customer should have that right to have whatever it is that you want done. Okay? So I said, okay, cool. I hang up from each one of these people, and it's so funny that they keep you locked in. They just keep calling you. I'm not telling you no lie. As I was making the first attempt to do this video, just a minute ago, a guy called me back and told me he mysteriously got a rebate in the mail. He said, it's so funny, I got a rebate in the mail and it's a $200 off rebate. So instead of $37.50, it'd be $35.50 out the door. I'm serious. So this is what it is. They're making it to where we can't really have our car serviceable amongst anybody but them, the dealers. And to a degree, that's cool. But when you're quoting somebody at $3,000 to $4,000 at a car that's fairly new, okay, 5 years, I still consider that fairly new. 5 or 6 years, I still consider that fairly new. That's too much money. And then they tell you they don't rebuild the transmissions. They don't rebuild them. So they got to get a remanufactured, or I say to myself, it's refurbished. And when I say refurbished, that's could be anything. Junkyard transmission that's cleaned up, new filter, new gasket, new fluid. That's it. To me, as long as it's still in working condition, and then they probably recertify, put it through a point program and recertify it, that's about it. So how do we know this won't happen 2 weeks down the line when you get your car out of the shop? But they guarantee it for, what did they say? A year. They guarantee it for a year. I mean, it's crazy out here, man. I think you should get what you pay for, man. If you spend all of this money, you should get a decent car. That's just my opinion. But like I said, I wouldn't tell y'all no lie. This is the guy right here.
Come in with it. I can staple this right to the invoice, and it'll cost me $200 less. So in order to get the job, if that helps you, I would use it on yours.
So you saying it just came in the mail today?
I literally got this 10 minutes ago, and that's why I cracked up. I said, Jesus, you know what? What timing? I mean, I'll hold it if I don't use it on yours. I'll just use it on the next Nissan we order. You know, but I figured if it makes the difference to help you get to do the job, to give you a better deal, it's not costing me anything. It's just it's an incentive, you know. I could certainly give it to you as I can give it to anybody, you know.
Yeah, I just spoke to the wife this morning.
I'm telling you. And when they know that you need this service, I feel like it's some honest guys out here, and I feel like it's some dishonest people out here. You know, I went and did the research myself, and I found a few used units for $400, $500, and they're coming out of crashed up vehicles, total vehicles, obviously. And not only that, I feel like, why go through all these hoops and hurdles if from the beginning they can say that there's a problem, fix the problem, get you out the door. They can't say that it's not affordable because they make the money. These cars are flying off the lot. They're making the money. If you count on count on the road how many of these cars you see daily, it's enough. And then you got people like this, not saying that this is a bad person, but they figure they got you locked into something because you need that service performed. I just don't, I don't agree with some of the things that's involved with getting stuff like this done or having people work on your car, because when you go send for one thing, you might be sending for one thing and come back with another thing wrong, So I never really was comfortable like that. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. Nissan is one of the worst companies to go through and deal with. And, don't believe me, there's a class action lawsuit going on against them right now. Like I said, that recall for the transmissions is only for 2010 and back and lower and older. So it's like, it leaves a lot of the newer owners fresh out of luck. It's just like a cell phone. You spend all this money on the insurance and still end up paying out of pocket something. What's the point of paying insurance on something when you still got to come out of your pocket and pay? Just doesn't make sense to me. But that was just my video, man. If you can, or if you're looking for a car, stay away from Nissan. I'm telling you right now. There's quite a few out there with CVTs, but you don't hear them failing at the rate that Nissan is failing.